want me to put that on my Tudor?
Harry's wife. She's her own worst enemy. We turn to an article in Closer magazine with the headline, "Why Kate and William Refuse to Rise to the Sussexes' Attacks." The fallout from his intimate memoir has kept Prince Harry in the palace's doghouse after the royal family were left reeling from the damning accusations of bribery, assault, racism and bullying he levelled at the firm's most senior members. Of course, all of this being encouraged by his wife for the purposes of asserting control over the royal family, monetising the victimhood, and of course hanging Harry out to dry, see parts pass him. But while we recently reported how his wife, Harry's wife, 41, had taken a step back from the spotlight after being left humiliated by Harry's recent kiss and tell, last week a post resurfaced of her throwing shade at Kate Middleton on her wedding day. Smearing, assertion of control. Harry's wife's comments on her now defunct blog, The Tig, took shots at the extravagance and attention lavished on Kate, 41. The blog said, "Grown women seem to retain this childhood fantasy. Just look at the pomp and circumstance surrounding the royal wedding and endless conversation about Princess Kate. Hypocrisy. Of course, we all know about the slimmed down, toned down, low-key wedding that Harry's wife had that didn't cost £32 million. The post was written in 2014, 2 years before she met Prince Harry, 38, on a blind date in 2016. Although, of course, we know that it wasn't a blind date because he saw what she looked like because he saw her on Instagram, apparently. Fans called Harry's wife out after the post resurfaced, as Harry's wife had insisted in her interview with Oprah that she knew very little about the royal family, lie revision of history. And now insiders say that while this is yet another attack on Kate, William, 40, and his wife are again refusing to publicly respond. A source says, "The Waleses have refused to engage publicly in anything the Sussexes have said or done, and it's really working for them. The public are back on side, and they can't help but think that Harry and Harry's wife bring all these negative stories on themselves, with the way they have behaved." The post comes after a recent slew of bitter insults aimed at Kate, 41, by Harry's wife, smearing, provocation. She referred to the Princess of Wales as formal and cold during their Shitflix documentary. Harry painted a picture of mum of three Kate as the howling and grimacing wife of William, who had left Harry's wife sobbing on the floor. That ought to be trademarked, I'd imagine, by now, following the now famous row over Princess Charlotte's bridesmaid dress at their 2018 wedding. Despite dig after dig, the Prince and Princess of Wales has spent almost 3 years adhering to the royal motto of never complain, never explain. But insiders say it hasn't been easy, revealing the feeling among Kate's loved ones is that she's shown the patience of a saint by maintaining her dignity while staying stoic and focused in the face of all Harry's wife and Harry's goading comments. Or in other words, they've been expertly advised and are maintaining a position of no contact. This drives Harry's wife nuts. No matter how many times she stamps a cloven hoof in an attempt to get the attention of William and Kate, it fails. They continue to ignore her. Doubtless the pair of them will have felt like wanting to respond by maybe commenting or conducting an interview putting their side of the story. But all that ever does is feed into what Harry's wife wants. It gives her fuel. Even if it's challenge fuel, it still gives her fuel, which is what she subconsciously craves. It means that you're giving her what she wants. It increases the risk of her hoovering further by continuing to issue rebuttals and provocative comments because of your rejection of what she said by being interviewed and talking about it. For the empath that is Kate, It'll increase her emotional thinking because she's entering an arena of interaction. And it would expose them both to adverse consequences, quite simply more of the same being thrown at them by Harry's wife. And no matter how tempting it is to want to set the narcissist straight, how tempting it is to want to put the narcissist in their place, as your truth seeker trait itches away, wanting to cause you to explain it wasn't like that, it was like this. It is the far better course of action for you to resist doing so. Because if you do, you invite the devil's pitchfork. You'll provide fuel. You will suffer an adverse consequence. You may well increase the risk of being hoovered, and you will increase your own emotional thinking, where you're an empathic individual who has the addiction to the narcissist. No matter how difficult it is, no matter how tempting it might be to go toe-to-toe with the narcissist, you are far better served by maintaining your defences and offering simple silence. It drives us nuts. It is infuriating not to receive a response. Harry's wife demands she gets a response, and each time she doesn't get it, she's wounded. Of course, she'll retreat for a while, and then she'll try again. And then she's wounded once again. And William and Kate now know that this is the effect of their lack of response, and they, like you, can draw satisfaction from the knowledge of what you're doing rather than actually having to see it. You don't need to witness the narcissist's reaction. You don't need to home in on it, because if you're doing so, you're breaching no contact in taking those steps. So similarly, for Kate and William, they don't need to see that Harry's wife is getting bent out of shape and is getting furious. They have that knowledge as a consequence of the information they have received, so that they know that that's what's happening, and they can sit there and smile to themselves knowing that ignoring her is the most effective tool for driving a narcissist round the bend. Some of you, of course, would think that Harry's wife had already reached that point of being completely round the bend given some of her behaviours, but the stance that's being adopted by William and Kate of no contact with her is the most effective thing that can be done. And the same goes for you in relation to any narcissists that are in your life. The article continues. Harry and Harry's wife seem to be particularly critical of William and Kate, but the couple haven't risen to it. That doesn't mean it hasn't stung and Kate's tolerance levels are being tested. She has definitely wanted to defend herself, but they both know that keeping quiet works in their favour. Indeed, it does. While William and Kate have stayed silent, many others have called out Harry and Harry's wife's inconsistencies. The couple were hit with a PR disaster last week when controversial cartoon, South Park, released an episode called The Worldwide Privacy Tour, which shows a red-headed prince and princess of Canada demanding privacy while promoting a bird called Wah. Harry's wife is also referred to as an Instagram-loving bitch, while a couple held posters reading, "We want our privacy" and "Stop looking at us." In a further blow, last week a court hearing heard Harry's wife's half-sister Samantha, who is attempting to sue Harry's wife for defamation, accuse her of making false and malicious lies before detailing the inconsistent claims Harry's wife has made about her childhood. And the insider adds, there seems to be so much backlash against the Sussexes that the royals don't even need to defend themselves. Again, this is the consequence of giving the narcissist enough rope. By not responding and engaging in the drama, you save yourself a lot of aggravation, you have all of the benefits that I previously outlined, and the narcissist cannot help but keep reacting and responding in a particular way where they become their own worst enemy. Kate feels that Harry's wife tends to be her own worst enemy and ties herself in knots with what she says. Indeed, that is the case. With less than 3 months to go before the coronation of his father, King Charles, on 6th of May, last week it emerged that Harry is demanding that he meet with Charles and his brother Prince William at his home in California before he even considers attending the prestigious crowning ceremony at Westminster Abbey, this sense of entitlement naturally being driven by his wife. The last few times, Harry has returned to the UK for his late grandmother, the Queen's Jubilee, and later her funeral. He detailed the behind-the-scenes interactions in his autobiography, which he was paid £16.5 million to write, providing that he had no qualms about detailing private interactions with his family. And so the source adds that despite William and Kate's vow to keep tight-lipped, they are of course thinking carefully about the prospect of Harry returning and talking to advisors and PR teams in preparation. The source says last time Harry used his visit as ammunition. So Kate and William are keeping close tabs on the TV and book deals Harry and Harry's wife are plotting, as every new deal inevitably involves another round of attacks on the royals. That's something they will not tolerate again, so they're hiring a new team of advisors to prepare for what further damage Harry and Harry's wife could inflict. The fact Harry's wife and Harry are now rolling in cash means that they can afford some very effective PR advice, part of the reason why their cash is being drained, of course, which is all the more reason for the Waleses to buckle up accordingly. All the Waleses need to do is keep doing what they've been doing. Implement no contact, and let Harry's wife have enough rope to hang herself. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.